Well, let's get more on Amazon's rise with Santosh Rao in New York. He's the head of research at Manhattan Venture Partners, which is a research-driven merchant bank. Good to have you back with us, Santosh. Well, after rallying in the first trading days of 2019, Amazon is now officially #1. Take us through the company's meteoric rise to dominance over the last 24 years.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Amazon did not get here by chance. This was a deliberate strategy, well thought out strategy, and they came into industry, which e-commerce industry. They kind of created the industry. They totally defined the space and now dominate the space. About 50% of US sales, e-commerce sales, are through Amazon. But they got there by systematically going there. They did not care about profits. They did not play the Wall Street game of showing profits every quarter. They reinvested and kind of built the base that they have now, and they are totally dominant now in that e-commerce space. But not only that, they invested in technology, invested in software, and then you saw AWS, the cloud computing business, is an offshoot of that investment in their software business. So now they have heavy computing power, which they rent out, and now it's become a huge business. They have 40% share of the cloud market, which is the growth area, totally dominant there. And not only that, they're moving up the value chain to enterprise accounts. So what they're doing is systematically going up, pulling the levers one after the other. Now with cloud and e-commerce in the bag, now they are getting into advertising, which is now almost 2.5 billion. They're getting into healthcare. They're getting into Prime Video. So everything, they're more than a retail place. They're more a consumer spending juggernaut. So any consumer spending, they capture it in their bucket. So I think that's the story of Amazon. That's the success story of Amazon. And that's why you see it's the most valuable company.
Fascinating. Yes, most people would only be aware of Amazon's e-commerce platform, but as you say, it's now become quite a force in cloud computing, and it's got its fingers in many other pies, as you've just explained there as well. Will Amazon fall into the trap of perhaps diversifying too much, or do you think they've got it under control?
I think they have it under control. What they do is they're very systematic in the way they expand. They just don't throw money blindly, and even if they do, they control it very fast. So now they're investing in India. It's a growth market. It was a very cash-heavy geographic area to invest in, but now it's paying off. They are better than Flipkart there. Their market share is growing. So it's things like that. They play the long game, essentially, to bottom line this. And they get in there, and they have a strategy, and they work around the system, and they really get it done. So that's what you're seeing. I don't see any self-inflicted wounds. I see a strategy, and Jeff Bezos has turned out to be a genius in the way he executes on his growth.
Yes, he sure has. But I guess with any giant, there is some sort of an Achilles heel, or there must be. What do you think are Amazon's weaknesses?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, like you said, now they have become an omni-channel kind of. They're getting into that business where brick and mortar businesses, those are very cash heavy. They need capital investments. So you can see some thinning out there. They want to get into freight. They want to get into drones. You can see them down the road. If they don't get it right, they can stumble there because there is competition. So they don't want to spread too thin. But what they do is they add businesses that are incremental, that expand their ecosystem. So you'll see the freight and all that are nice adjacent businesses to what they have. So at this point, I don't want them to get into some businesses that totally like the movie business is good. They're producing a thing. You don't want to get too deep and start owning major studios and kind of sink your money there. So right now they're doing the right thing, just producing some online content, kind of the whole idea is to keep people into the ecosystem, pull people in there and keep them there. So they're content rich, they want to be there, but they don't want to invest. They should not invest in too many businesses that are very cash heavy and out of their mainstream.
Okay, Santosh Rao, we will have to leave it there, but it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Amazon over 2019. Thank you again for your time.